Well, I've had about as much sleep as Newcastle United scored goals yesterday at St James's Park in the Champions League. I'm knackered, but absolutely over the moon. How's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again after a huge statement win last night. What a game. What a game. What a performance by the lads. 3-0 in the end. To be honest, we could have had a hat-trick of spot kicks. I thought we actually had one. I was jumping up and down. I was like literally jumping up and down, flapping all over the place. The referee's pointing to the spot, and then he goes over and offers Gordon a hand up. I don't get that one. The referee, I thought, was absolutely and utterly shite again against us. Absolutely ducked some totally and utterly obvious, as you like, spot kicks. No VAR review. I don't know what was going on. I really don't. Like I say, if I had hair, if I had me Volta Messi hair, I'd have been pulling most of it out at the referee's performance. But look, I'm not going to let that cast a shadow. Yes, we had those free spot kicks, which were absolute stonewallers turned down. Yes, we had 4, 5, 6 other great opportunities to score. It could have been a cricket score. Benfica second half were against the ropes. But more than happy with a 3-0. Nobody actually guessed that score. We did the prediction giveaway before the game, correctly guessed the score. Nobody got it. I'm not surprised. Nobody would have thought that we would have gone on and beat them 3-0, yet alone we should have absolutely rode away to the sunset with that one, But I think we're all happy. The Magpie 24/7 goodie bag will come out again at the weekend for the visit of Fulham. But back to last night, where to start with that? I think it's got to be one place, hasn't it? And that is a certain Gordon. Now, first half, I thought he was a good 7 or 8 out of 10. Second half, 10 out of 10. Absolutely and utterly fantastic. First half for the entire team, to be honest, we were a little bit hesitant. We were a little bit overly respectful to our visitors, and they had opportunities. I'm not going to say it would have been, could have easily been 8 or 9-0 last night, but it could have been something like 8 or 9-2. They had some great opportunities. They did hit the post. Pope pulled off quite a few decent saves. We'll get onto some more Pope shenanigans later on in the review. But we could have gone in at half time behind. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, we were too respectful. We did get our noses in front. Thank goodness, Gordon scoring the goal. We did have 1 or 2 other chances as well, it must be said, in the first half, even though we weren't playing our very, very best. But I'm just glad we came out in the second half and we upped it by several gears, because I think, a 1-0 or a 1-1, and it continues the pattern of a frustrating start to the season. But the fact that wasn't the case, and we upped it in the second half, and we looked absolutely fantastic. What an enjoyable 45. I said to Carl sitting next to us, I said, it feels like 10 minutes has gone. It was, full-time whistle going. The clock was absolutely flying. Not that the clocks were inside St James's Park. UEFA, get yourselves sorted. But yeah, the second half was such an enjoyable watch, an enjoyable experience. The atmosphere went up several levels as well, which also helped everything as well. But I think that's a video for a separate day on that one. Just the goals. The goals were fantastic. Gordon's play was absolutely fantastic. Barnes come on for, again, Jacob Murphy, who had a fine game himself. Barnes came on and was fantastic out on the right. And what a kick in the knackers that must be for Elanga. You're a right winger, and yet a left winger has been brought on ahead of you because your form is absolutely that bad. The team all over the place. Pope, yes, his kicking's bloody atrocious, and we were laughing about it and having a bit of banter and stuff, but everybody was singing Nick Pope's name. Great saves. He was brave on a lot of corners. Yes, he doesn't catch them, but he gets a good hand to them, fist them away. The defence was absolutely magnificent. Malik Chow again, Sven Botman once more, Dan Burn as well. Yes, he got caught out, I think, once in the first half, and he was done like a kipper. But apart from that, he was all over the place, putting in, tackles where tackles needed to happen. He was covering for the centre-backs on the rare occasions that he needed to do that. I thought he was fantastic. Trippier on the other side, again, he was having a good laugh with us in the strawberry corner. Appreciate it. He's great for the banter, really. Absolutely top low Kieran Trippier. And again, set pieces on point, putting them right on top of their keeper. Their keeper was as big as Nick Faltamada, but he didn't like coming for a cross at all. He flapped at quite a few, and Trippier was just on point with them all. Played one short as well. That worked out well. A bit of variation always is thumbs up from myself, to be honest. And yeah, all in all, defence and goalkeeper, no problems. Park and obviously the kick in for Nick Pope. In the midfield, the changes were ranked. Tonali was on the bench, Joe Linton was on the bench, and then Miley, Bruno and Ramsey as well were the three that were picked. And great to see Ramsey come back, get through some minutes, a good hour. Thought he had a good game, had a chance to score as well, maybe should have scored. And then the other two, absolutely fantastic. Bruno, great. Miley, absolutely fantastic. He seems to have sped up since sort of, I don't know, the sort of last time I really sat and looked and watched his game closely. He seems to have bulked up a little bit, and definitely just seems a little bit more quicker. And again, his passing is absolutely fantastic. A great game from young Lewis Miley. What a future that lad has at Newcastle United. And then on either side, like I touched upon before, I thought Jacob Murphy had a good game, and he showed Alanga what he needed to be doing. Getting the ball, trying to make things happen, getting crosses in, always being there for a pass. Nothing but positive things to say for Jacob Murphy. And on the other side, Gordon, he hasn't done it at all, has he, in the league? No goals, one red card, suspended for 3 games. He seems to be running into players, not enjoying it. Arms are going up, body language looks all bad. But in the Champions League, he scored in all 3 games. He scored against Barcelona. He got a brace, didn't he, against Union, and now again. So absolutely and utterly fantastic. Scoring goals for fun in the Champions League. He's got to replicate that form now into the Premier League. There's no doubt in his ability, but it's just a case of getting that consistency. And he's laid the marker down now. 1,000%. He looked like a man possessed, a man with a point to prove, and boy fucking hell did he do that. He absolutely ran them to bits. They didn't know whether to stick, twist or what. He was every fucking way. He was chasing back, he was closing down their keeper. He was making great passes. When he was laying the ball off, it was to point, it was finding its target. The crosses were going in, the running spectacular, driving into the box. Like I said before earlier on, he should have had a spot kick. I don't know how the hell, again, that was not, but he's all-round play, 10 out of 10. I'm just about to do my analysis ratings, because like I say, it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock or something like that, before I even got in last night. It was just too late, but I thought, clear mind to do the ratings this morning, so I'm going to get to them very, very shortly. But yeah, Gordon was fantastic. Player of the match awarded by UEFA, and I can't disagree. There was strong contenders all over the place for Newcastle United. There's no doubt about it. Miley was had to be a contender. Malik Chow. Pope for some of his saves. Yes, he's kicking. We know he's not great with that, but he got in a bloody that ball, he's thrown out. That's what he needs to do. Just get the ball and either pass it out to one of your centre-backs or full-backs, or, like he did, lob it out. Absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted for Pope. His name was being sang around St James's Park. But getting back up to the more other end of the pitch, I touched upon, obviously, the 2 wide players. They were magnificent. I've already said as well, Harvey Barnes, come on. His link-up play with the other player I want to get to, Volta Messi, was unbelievable. And if that's a relationship that can continue, if that can continue on and the signs develop like that, then, Alanga better get used to sitting on the bench and being an option and a squad rotation option at, £55 million. Because Barnes come on and he was He was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Everything you want to be, positive, trying to make things happen, driving into the box. Delightful, absolutely and utterly fucking delightful. Great, pleased for him as well to get another goal, and another player who just needs to carry that form into the Premier League, because we need to get that one going. Obviously, the games are coming thick and fast at the moment. We're back at home against Fulham at the weekend. It's a massive game. They've laid the marker down, and you expect to see a little bit more of it. We've also got Tonali now fresh for the weekend. Joe Linton only had a cameo at the end. I thought he'd come on and did really, really well as well, it must be said. Volta Messi, though, I want to spend a little bit of time on old Volta Messi, Volta Mada up top, because, yes, didn't score, but fucking hell. Thank you. Genuinely, thank you. All Scousers, the e-Scousers have been in the comments now for weeks and weeks and months, trying to take the piss, trying to take the high ground, think that they're Billy fucking big bollocks and all that sort of thing. But we haven't just had the pants down once. We've actually had them down twice. Thank you for the Andy Carroll money. And again, thank you for taking the Swedish Emil Heskey off our hands for such an absolute decent sum of money, 125, 130 million pound. Thank you very much, because it's allowed us to go out and sign an unbelievable player. He's literally, you cannot come up with all the words to describe how good this lad is. Yes, he hasn't scored last night. Hasn't scored. However, the performance, the passes, finding point, whether that's Bruno, who was much more further advanced, whether it was Miley or Ramsey earlier on, he was finding those central midfield players all the time. I thought the movement of the midfield was much better, got everybody else into the game, but Volta Messi getting the ball, finding them, brilliant, perfect for the tactical plan. But not just that, getting the ball and without even looking, without even a second thought, flicking on out wide, left and right, both sides, and finding the player time and time and time again. He's starting attacks, getting the Benfica players turn around. It was absolutely, I was just watching in complete awe. My jaw was on the floor. It was that good, that perfect of a performance, and not just that, but the speed that this man goes. Again, for his height, you don't think that he's going to be a speed merchant. You don't think he's going to be great with his feet. Like I touched upon before, he was spraying the passes out all of the time. He was then bursting the gut, left, right, dropping deep when he needed to, but being in the right place at the right time. Fantastic. All over the park at such pace. It was just a wonderful, amazing thing to be able to watch. Causing a nuisance, trying to get shots away, work the opposition goalkeeper, which is something we haven't done enough this season. And the entire attacking unit just looked slick. I've said before, we've struggled and we've looked like it's painful and it's not quite working and it's been quite clunky and awkward in the Premier League. But if we can produce that sort of a performance, there's not too many teams that are going to be able to contain the attacking unit. And the flow last night, that was the best thing. The flow of how it all just came together was unbelievable. It should have been 7, 8, 9 goals scored last night. No word of a lie. This has not been biased with, surrounded by Newcastle United stuff. This is merely stating the absolute facts of the situation, that we were that damn fucking good. End of. But Volta Messi, absolutely different gravy. And the scores I'll be giving out shortly, there's bound to be some 10 out of 10 performances. Because, like I said, despite the fact that it was a bit of an iffy first half, it's not how you start something, it's how you finish something. And that's why I'm still quite relaxed about the Premier League situation, because last season, 12th in December, we got into the Champions League and we won a cup. If you can repeat that sort of performance again or anywhere near it, then more than delighted. I think every Newcastle United fan will be more than delighted, to be honest. And it's looking more and more encouraging in the Champions League. We've got 6 points on the board now. You would think another 2 victories would be enough to be able to qualify for the next round of the competition. So we've got Bilbao coming up. We've got PSV in the competition at home, and then we've got the away games. If we can get something in the away games, picking up points in the away games and doing the business back at St James's Park, if we play anywhere near that sort of intensity and style, and with that sort of game plan, we will get the extra 6 points at least from those games at home in the Champions League, and we'll be looking forward to progressing deeper into the Champions League and getting out of this newfangled new group stage. But as I looked this morning in the table, we sat in amongst like Real Madrid and Barcelona, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And the challenge now, and surely what was got said last night after the game, is the challenge now, lads, is to take that form into the Premier League, show a little bit of that, and there's no way, with the greatest respect to Fulham, that they will be able to live, with it. So that's the challenge. That's the opportunity. We need to get some victories now in the Premier League and just stay at least within touching distance, with everybody up chasing for the European slots. That needs to be the plan. That needs to be the priority now. And then, of course, after that, we're back in cup action, aren't we, against Spurs again at St James's Park next week. The games are coming so quick, but if we can see more performances like that, I'd have them playing every bloody day, to be honest, because that was a delight to watch all the way through. Let me know what you think down below in the comments about the game. Who was your man of the match? I think you struggled to look at anybody but Gordon, but I do feel really, really harsh in saying that, with the likes of Miley, with the likes of Chow and Pope playing so well. And the impact that the substitutes make. What did you think of our subs? Because I even thought the likes of Joe Linton coming on, he could have sulked, he could have been a bit upset, why have I been dropped? But he didn't have any of that attitude. It was all about the team. It was all about doing a job and seeing it out. Tremendous attitude from everybody, tremendous application from everybody, and one very happy supporter here. And I know there was another 50 odd thousand who were also happy. Not so much for the Benfica, but I will just say before I finish, Benfica fans, loud, proud, sang throughout, well supported, more fans there than what there was for the likes of Barcelona in the away section. So credit to them. Safe journey back. Jose Mourinho as well. I think he's been a class act throughout. I quite like Jose Mourinho. I know he's Marmite with some people, but I think football is about characters. I do. That's why I've got a Joe Linton shirt and a Ketspire shirt behind us. I've got a Batty shirt, and so I like the personalities. And not your sort of vanilla type players, if you will. And Mourinho, although not a player, certainly is a personality, certainly is a character, and that brings a little bit something more. I think it's something that's missing in the modern game, to be honest. We don't have enough characters, we don't have enough people to, entertain, really, But anyway, that's a separate subject again for another day, but happy, doing well in the Champions League. Now we need to take this form and the results into the Premier League as well. Looking quite rosy in the Champions League garden for Newcastle United today. Let me know what you think down below of the game, as well as what I've said about the players and stuff. And subscribe, follow us on all our social media channels. Take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.
Join us Monday for Toon Talk, a Newcastle United podcast by Magpie 24/7.